Hi, I'm Patrick. I work at Butler as an IT help desk assistant. You've probably heard me on the phone or seen me a couple times in real life. Hopefully I didn't make you too upset. For me and for I think a lot of people in my generation, we kind of started out, watching TV, watching cartoons. You had your Pokemon, your Dragon Ball, maybe your Sailor Moon. And I always was more fond of those shows growing up, when I was in elementary, middle school. I kind of kept going from there, and eventually it kind of clicked with me that, oh, hey, this is Japanese animation. And then I got my own computer, and I looked up, more and more of that, and then that was the beginning of the end. I was what I would call like a passive consumer of anime for a very long time, for 7 or 8 years. And the more I finally got comfortable with that and with anime itself, I decided, you know what? I should probably maybe give something back to the community a bit. And I started, being a bit more vocal on Twitter, on forums and stuff. And then I said, you know what? I want somebody to talk to. Maybe don't even need anybody to listen to it, but I want just an outlet for all these things that I think about this thing that I love, my hobby. So talked to a friend, bought a $30 microphone on Amazon and started recording. So at first it was just, send it to friends who are into anime and hobbies and be like, hey, we did this recording. We sat there and kind of wrote down what we thought the podcast should be, and it turned out into something weekly because there's so many anime shows that come out every week in Japan. So we did, every other week, just talked about what we thought about the things we had seen the last week, and then maybe talked about some industry news. And we went from there, and it kind of grew after a little while. We said, you know what? We're comfortable with ourselves. Let's put ourselves on YouTube. There's a lot more viewers on YouTube, so we did that, and then started writing blog content to go with the website, because once you have the YouTube, you need the website, and kind of exploded. Podcasts are definitely not the only outlet we have. We have the YouTube channel, which is kind of our main thing now. We've gone away from the bi-weekly format, and now we just kind of do content when we feel like it. Still pretty often, but like we'll if there's a relevant video game, we'll sit down, we'll do like a fun little clip from the video game, and talk to viewers while we play it. Maybe drink a little, have a little bit of fun. We'll live stream stuff, and get some viewers in that way, and stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of people, if you're in the Tampa office, I'm sure every year notice MetroCon. You see all those people in the crazy costumes, and now we even have a local Comic-Con that happens. So I've been going to MetroCon, the convention here, since about 2007, because it's the only place where you can go and randomly talk to somebody on the street about this thing that you love. Everybody there is at a convention for the same reason, and that's because you share this hobby together. So that's a lot of fun, and for a while I was a passive enjoyer of conventions as well, but wanted to give back there. I started doing what they call panels, where you hear about panels at San Diego Comic-Con. It's normally the actors or directors. Well, MetroCon's a little bit smaller, so you have what's called a fan panel, where you just kind of pick a topic, you apply for the panel slot, and you do much like you might at work, a presentation about it, except it's a jury of your peers, in your hobby instead of your colleagues. From there, after that, we kind of decided to tie in the podcast identity with what we do at conventions from the panel side. So I started doing some like on the street style interviews, talking to other people about what costumes they might be wearing or what anime they've watched recently. My favorite anime character, man, that's is outing myself a bit. It's actually Kinomoto Sakura from Cardcaptor Sakura. If you grew up watching anime in the States, you probably knew the show Cardcaptors. The Japanese version is a little bit different, but I really admire her straightforward personality, and she just never gives up no matter what happens. Japanese, 日本語で、難しい。実は日本語あまり喋れないと思いますけど、yeah, that's all you're getting. The first time I went to Japan, it's interesting because even as much as I loved the anime culture as a whole, I wasn't really into Japanese culture. And there was this club, like music club, that would stream every Friday night in Akihabara, which is they call it Electric Town Akihabara. It's like the anime nexus in Tokyo. They would stream their shows, and it was like this cool fusion of anime music and club music, and I fell in love with that. And then found out that one of my producers was going to be doing a release party for a new album during spring break. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go there. So the first time I went to Japan, I went there strictly for that, and it was from there that I fell in love with the rest of it. So I've been to Japan. This past January was actually my 4th time. It's a love. It's just incredibly different in the way they go about life and the way you talk to people in politeness, and it's fun. It's really fun to experience a culture so far apart from our own. If you want to get into a podcast, honestly, the best thing you can do is to just buy a microphone, sit it in front of you, and start talking. Record it. Somebody will listen. If they'll listen to me, they'll probably listen to you too.